You've just been in a car accident. Your car is a mess. You're shaken up and your heart is hammering. You get out of the car to exchange information, then the other driver says the words that make your stomach drop. I don't have any insurance. What will you do in this kind of scenario? Today's video is all about it. I've been living in Ontario for the last few years and I'm quite aware of every incident, every car accident and stuff. I've had a couple stories coming up towards me where the driver had no insurance, and I can't tell you the circumstances if you don't have any insurance, and even if you have an insurance but the other driver doesn't have that, how you can save yourself. So what you do in the first 60 minutes. I know when you get into an accident, it is very hectic. You lose your control. You may not be in sense, but it is important that you get outside of the car and take pictures. You take pictures, investigate, but before you even take picture, the first thing you should do is call the police and make a legal complaint report. Any accident that might cost you over $2,000 should be reported to the police. And if you don't have any report towards the police about the accident, then your insurance company will deny your accident claim. So the first thing you get outside of the car is you call the police and file a legal report about the insurance. When you complain, the second thing you should be doing is that you collect all the information of the other drivers. Become your own investigator. Collect pictures, images, videos, his insurance number, his driver's license plate, record intersection, and get information of any pedestrian who noticed the accident. Every information is critical. Your insurance company will try their best to deny the claim and investigate about the truthfulness of the accident. So they will obviously go through the accident. They will check the footage. If you have a dash cam, they will check the dash cam. They will collect data to prove that you've been in an accident for sure. And now you have proper document for the accident. If your driver is not insured, that tell the police officer that this driver is uninsured, and the police report should also point that out, that the driver who hit your car is not insured by any insurance companies. Third, see a doctor on the same day. When you face an accident, your adrenaline will spike and you might forget or you might not sense what has damaged inside your body. So it's always a good option. If you feel unconscious, go check up a doctor in any hospital. Check your body, find out if something is wrong with anything, if you have any injury outside or inside, and get prescription from them. So when you claim for the health coverage, then your insurance company cannot deny it. You will have your medical report presented to them. Fourth thing is you have to inform the insurance company on the spot. The moment you face any accident, call the company. Usually they're 24/7, so even if the accident is happening at nighttime, if you call their helpline, then they should have some customer service help for you. So when you call them, just tell them everything about the accident and stuff, so they become aware of the situation. It is very important, and it is one of the most crucial thing you should be doing. Let your insurance company know the same day. Do not delay, because if you delay this thing, then quite obvious they will think that you are kind of like putting the story by yourself and this thing never happened. On the section 2, what happens to the uninsured driver? So the damage has been done and uninsured driver has to face the damages. If he is not insured, then he will be the one who will pay for the damages. In Ontario, if you're driving without any insurance, then the fine or the penalty can go up to $5,000. And if the damage is substantial, then it can go from $25,000 to $50,000, depending on the situation, depending on the damage, whatever the driver has caused. and the driver is responsible. He will be responsible to pay off the damages that he's done. Even if so, the difference is if he was insured, then the insurance company would have been liable for the damages. But as he is not insured, then he is the one who will be responsible. So that's the difference, and that's why you need an insurance. Without any insurance, it is illegal to drive your car on the roads. Your financial lifeline. So there's a few coverage. The first coverage is uninsured automobile coverage. Second coverage is collision coverage, and the third coverage is family protection endorsement, aka OPCF 44R. Also, in the first thing, if you have a coverage of uninsured automobile, then even if you get involved in any accident, if the driver is not insured, then this coverage will cover up the damages. This claim, the standard limit for injury claim is $200,000. For your vehicle damage, this coverage also applies, though it is subject to a deductible, right? So the uninsured automobile coverage is a subject to a deductible. And the second thing is collision coverage. If your car has to be replaced, any is subject to any repairs, then this is the coverage that is going to help you out. And the third thing is family protection endorsement. So what is family protection endorsement coverage? Let's say your other driver was insured, but his insurance coverage is not enough to cover the damages that he caused. Let's say the damage he caused is higher than his insurance coverage. In this case, this is the coverage, family protection endorsement, which will help you out to fill up the gap. If the other driver's damage insurance coverage is $50,000, then family protection endorsement coverage, let's say the damage is $100K, then the family protection endorsement OPCF 44R will cover the rest, $50,000. So this is another coverage. If you add up in your insurance, then you will be saved up from these kind of incidents. I will tell everyone to get this coverage added up to their insurance. It may sound a kind of bit expensive, but if you're driving in Toronto or in a densely populated area, then it's worth it. Even if you get to a medical bill and the medical bill comes up $500K, but the other driver's insurance coverage allows you $200K, then this is the coverage that will cover up the rest of $300K. So it's kind of like worth it, an extra powerful layer of protection. Can't I just sue the person who hit me? Yes, the answer is yes, you can. But this is a very lengthy process. You gotta go through court, lawyers, win the case, and then, it's a very lengthy process. It's a very lengthy process. However, the number one problem is collectability. You can win a lawsuit, then collecting the money is quite a headache. If the judge rules in favor of you, but the person who you sued doesn't have the fund, then it becomes quite hard to collect the funds from him. While things like wage garnishment exist, but this can be a very lengthy, long process, and often a fruitless fight, I would say. Fortunately, there's another help that may help uninsured drivers. There's a fund called the Motor Vehicle Accident Claims Fund, MVACF. This is a government-run fund, and it is actually a last resort for uninsured drivers. So the way how it works is when someone is not having an auto policy, he doesn't have any, then he can claim that fund. If he's a pedestrian or someone like that, he can claim it. But it is a very lengthy process, so just know about it. But as I told you, it's a very lengthy process. Let's bring it together. You involved in an accident and the other driver is not insured. What do? You call the police, collect data, everything possible. Then go to hospital, get the medical reports done. Finally, let your insurance company know about the accident. You do all these four things. These four things are crucial. And other safety net you may think about is the coverage that I talked, the family coverage, the uninsured motor vehicle coverage, and the collision claim coverage. These three coverage can actually save you when you get into these kind of troubles. For God's sake, I wish nobody falls into these kind of situations, but it is always a good option to know what to do. Do not get panicked. There's solution for almost everything. Just stay in your sense, take a deep breath, control the situation, face it. Getting hit by an uninsured driver feels like a dead end. It is not. By understanding your rights and following all the measurements right, you can take yourself out from the danger. This was the whole video. I hope you guys got enough value from it, which may help you out in future, and see you in the next video. Till then, take care.